So, one of the more disturbing things about last night's GOP debate was how many outright lies were perpetrated. And that has translated into all manner of right wing pundits and garbage supporters spreading this bullshit all around. Now, they wouldn't touch climate change, wouldn't talk about piss baby Greg Abbott's treatment of migrants with buzz saws and razor wire. They all raised their hands when asked if they would support Ronald Rump if all his legal problems were to go away, or let's face it, even if they don't, they would still support him. And they all allowed these outright lies surrounding reproductive rights to fester like worms on an old corpse. Once and for all, there is no such thing as post-birth abortion. It is a GOP Christo-fascist political term made up to deceive the public. If a child is post-birth, then that child is born. That child is alive. Abortion has absolutely nothing to do with it anymore. What they're describing is called infanticide, which has already been deemed a crime since long before our country was founded. Post-birth abortion is their way of inserting the A word into something already illegal that has nothing to do with women's reproductive rights or why everybody is fighting. They do this so they can rally everyone around the idea that abortion equals murder. And that's what they're trying to pound into your head so that you will allow them to ban it at the federal level. Don't buy it. It's a lie. Also, don't buy their completely ridiculous and absolutely wrong idea that abortion is a form of birth control. Like women are just lining up at a Planned Parenthood 2 days before their due date to demand one. This is another bullshit lie that is peddled by the right. Abortions occurring post 21 weeks are exceedingly rare. We are talking literally 1% of all abortion is post 21 weeks. And all of these procedures post 21 weeks are only performed in the most extreme and dire of circumstances, where it comes down to life or death for both mother and child. In fact, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists have repeatedly stated that late-term abortion has zero medical meaning. It is another far-right, Christo-fascist, conservative, Republican buzz term completely made the fuck up in order to disinform and deceive the public. Medical professionals, if you speak to one, will say that any abortion past the 21-week mark is extremely ill-advised. And believe it or not, these types of abortions, even if they have to be performed, would remain a non-issue for women so long as they retain the right to a safe and legal abortion early on in the pregnancy. I'm going to repeat that in case these idiots didn't catch it. The safest, best way to avoid second and third trimester abortions is to ensure that every woman retains safe, legal access to care at her discretion from the very beginning. And don't think that Democrats themselves don't need reminders on the idea that women in this country want to have it enshrined into law that they will be making all decisions for themselves, period. Kamala Harris, VP Harris, and other Dems, they've been leaving tweets along the lines of, we should trust women to make their decisions. I trust the women of this country with decisions on abortion rights and reproductive rights. We should trust. Trust. Let them try to make their own decisions. Trust them with this, that, and the other thing. And I keep saying, it is not a matter of trust. Stop saying the word trust. Trust implies that you're taking a risk by allowing it. Like you trust a 12-year-old to stay home alone for the first time. Or you trust your babysitter is not going to give your toddler chocolate before she puts him down to bed. Trust implies it remains to be seen whether or not you can allow it to go on. I don't need your trust in me to make my own decisions. I didn't ask for it, and I don't want it. What you trust, what you think, means nothing to me. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. The fight is about getting it through your head once and for all. I am the one in charge of my healthcare decisions. The women of this country are the ones in charge of their family planning and everything else regarding their bodies. Period. That's it. That's what we want codified into law. None of your fucking business is what we're fighting for. Codify Roe, illegalize actions that encumber women's healthcare access, information, and choice, and then shut the fuck up. That's what we want. Christo-fascists in this country really have no idea how not persecuted they are over their batshit religious ideals. If I had the power, I would tax the fuck out of churches. I would illegalize any form of barrier or influence on clinic property against staff or patients, and I would instantly rip the licenses away from any doctors or pharmacists who get in a patient's way to information, access, and medication. That doesn't happen now, does it? And that's because of the power and the hold right-wing Christo-fascists have in this country. It would be an absolute utopia if this country could get past that first step of understanding that people retain the right to their own decisions and pathways in life. The decision is on them, not on you. Not on your religion, not on your friends, not on your beliefs. And after last night, it should be obvious that pinning your hopes on any of these clowns is not just going to keep anything good for the future far, far away, but you are the ones who are ultimately going to suffer for it. Lewis Black once said, the Democrat Party may be a party of no real ideas, but the Republican Party is the party of bad ideas. And that's just what these idiots represented last night. A party of just bad ideas. Bad ideas based on pure ignorance, greed, a never-ending train of bullshit and disinformation and attempts to deceive the public. That's all it is. I had a little bit of hope for Chris Christie because he had come out vehemently against Trump in the past few weeks. But when asked that question, would you still stand behind Trump if he were to get out? If all of these legal problems were to go away? If he ended up being the front runner in the race for president? Would you follow him? And they all raised their hands, including Chris Christie. It's just pathetic. I never expected such a bunch of nothing. Nothing, and anything that was there was garbage. The only one who made any sense was the woman on the panel. And they're not going to nominate her ass. Or that snake oil salesman Ramaswamy. Rama Rama Ding Dong. Fucking forget it. This is Joel from Woodstock, a former Republican who came to the Fulton County Jail this morning to deliver a message. I want to see the sociopath who tried to steal my vote in 2020 go to prison. No, really, he lost. And you're in a cult? More people need to be like Joel. I think there are a lot of people like him. They're just not vocal. But that would require admitting they were fooled. Not only fooled, but turned on the people who said they were fooled. And also, as a veteran who can't stress this enough, smeared shit on the very walls of the United States Capitol. Some of these people have to come face to face with the idea that they threw jobs, friends, family, their entire lives away for a lie by a modern day snake oil salesman. The maggots with the mental or intellectual capacity to do that already did. Reminds me of Carl Sagan. I always love a great Carl Sagan quote. One of the saddest lessons of history is this: if we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Then I guess it stands to reason that we can never trust any of these idiots again. Very good. It's sad that having daughters is the only thing that will humanize women for so many men. It's the old phrase, conservatives fear liberals will make fun of them, while liberals fear conservatives will kill them. How sad. Republican debate recap. I'm a red governor of a blue state, so there, and way more experienced than that young idiot over there. I was stationed in Afghanistan with Navy SEALs, and everything I did in Florida was perfect. By the way, Ron DeSchmuckus was not a Navy SEAL. Just reminding you. I have 1,000 ridiculous cliches and intend to say all of them. I sure hope I can attract the women's vote by saying vaguely pragmatic things. I headed the DEA and know all about drugs, and everybody wishes their state was like Arkansas. I did the right thing on January 6th, and I pray every day. Have I mentioned I was raised by a single mother? That's nothing. I'm from a small town. Pretty much. Pretty much. You know, the GOP's collection of candidates are insane and have dropped off the deep end. When Pence comes off as the reasonable voice during the debates, just the victims of too much success. Their AM radio and news channels have been outraging and dumbing down people. Social media pushed it further. Once rational people who know which end of a spoon to stick in their mouths are somehow turning off their brains when these dancing turkey giblets get on screen. I suppose there are even Dems who believe some of their own neoliberal nonsense. Free market will save us. But I think most of us are just bewildered and voting for a rational seeming adult over power crazed fascist. Why are half these people not in prison? DeSantis does human trafficking for jokes, uses the state to advertise products to the public he's invested in, spends all his time fighting woke and pissing off undocumented workers. I hope the middle class and below decide to abandon Florida is not for them and leave these assholes to their own devices. So now these fascist bags of doorknobs are having to say even stupider and crazier things to chase their base off a cliff. I mean, there are plenty of actual things Republicans could propose and do, but they don't. They'd rather argue wedge issues and Jesus because they have no platform but lower taxes. Billionaires are down to 4% federal. You think when hippies die off, Gen X is going to bring a more progressive view? When the hippies were your age, they thought the same thing. Then they inherited Grandma and Grandpa's house and have paid into guaranteed pensions, got into the stock market, and now the hippies are boomers. Gen X started beaten down, the first generation worse off than their parents. We'll see if Gen X works to fix it, or the increased scarcity caused by the generation before increases their selfishness as they grow older, just like that generation before. When the Republican Party hears the youth complain about those topics, instead of reconsidering their political stance, they wrongly exclaim it's because the youth has been brainwashed by liberal public schools, which will only piss them off further. Yep. Yeah, real life when you're standing at the ballot box is not the internet. Keep saying bullshit. It's just going to piss off your voters more. And it's not the internet. It's a very bad thing to piss your voters off. A Rush Hour remake? No! Has it even been 20 years? Last night at the Republican debate, they asked the candidates to raise their hand if they love ice cream. I'm kidding, of course. The question was, would you support Donald Trump for POTUS, even if he is convicted of the crimes he's been charged with? Holy crap, a woman faked a wedding to get her ex's attention? Damn. Happy Trump arrestmas to all those who celebrate. I'm guessing he's 6 feet tall and 300 pounds. What's your guess? Um, I already put this up on Twitter. I think I put 326 pounds, something like that. To quote Full Metal Jacket, I didn't know they stack shit that high. My dad worked in special education for almost 30 years, and I really thought making fun of the guy would be a line in the sand, but nope. Well, you see, when you're able to really connect with a guy as verbose as Trump and believe the same garbage that he does, you may be inclined to vote for him and his agenda. 5'11" and 325 pounds. Yeah, Rudy weighed in at 230. Trump's far bigger than him, so even if he fasted the last 72 hours, he's still well over 300. Must be pear-shaped. Can't say I've ever studied his body type, but looking at pictures of the top, well, it's gotta go somewhere. Honor system, because it's like the DMV. Okay, so then Trump is gonna say he's 180 pounds. He wears 3-inch lifts like DeSantis. Also, most Republican men actually wear lifts in their shoes. It's weird as fuck, but a real thing. Very true. Doing some DEI training around unconscious bias and tall men equal leader is a real thing. Last president under 6 foot was Jimmy Carter, and he was 5'10". Prior to him was Eisenhower at the same height. So to make Donald Trump under 6 feet is a weirdly big deal. Wasn't FDR in a wheelchair? There's no way on earth he would have the discipline to fast for 10 hours, let alone 72. No calories in hamburgers if you throw them at the wall instead of eating them. 5'11" at 305 pounds. Definitely 5'11-ish, but I'm thinking closer to 315. I'll go one bob playing the under until some bastard comes in at 2. What prize do you get for being closest without going over? With or without the loaded diaper? Oh, or they'll get it off the driver's license. A fillet of fish under 320 pounds. I feel uncomfortable that Trump and I might have the same weight and height. Time to go to the gym, I guess. There's nothing morally or ethically wrong with those measurements. Well, we're talking about Trump, so there is. That makes making fun of his weight even easier and more interesting. No, don't say 6 out of the 8. This idiot over here raised his hand too, and so did that one. This old cartoon by the New York Times is going viral as India becomes the first country to land on the moon's south pole. Ah, funny. Will you look at this? How did this happen? Where are his parents? Was there a father in the home? Did he go to school or stay home and play video games? Did he ever apply himself? Was this because he listened to too much rap music? Bravo. Beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, Trump misspells stolen to Stalin. And so we're taking away your freedom by taking the government hostage. Sure, it sounds like terrorism. House Freedom Caucus. Never met a man who had an abortion, so I'm trying to figure out why y'all got so much to say. Wow.
Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. America, America, don't drink the Kool-Aid. America, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Who wants some Kool-Aid? Step right up.
Ew, not green.
Who believes that he won the election? Here's the Kool-Aid. Here's the Kool-Aid for you. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones. Jim Jones. Donald Trump, the next Jim Jones. Donald Trump, the next Jim Jones. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Uh, just an FYI, I hate to be like all pedantic and shit here, but Flavor Aid is what the People's Church members poisoned and killed themselves with, not Kool Aid. But I get it. I'll use the term drink the Kool-Aid just like everybody else. I think they have to say that today because I don't think they sell Flavor Aid anymore. It may have been because of Jim Jones's People's Temple.
All the Trump supporters, the MAGAs that believe in the lie, are drinking the Kool-Aid. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. America, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones, Donald Trump, the next Jim Jones, a cult leader that has all these zombies that believe in the lie. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I got the rap.org here. Just yet. I am a rat. Just like my boy Donald Trump.
Yep. Who are you going to believe? Some little douche canoe? Or a guy that seems to understand, even though he's only saying don't drink the Kool-Aid, he seems to know a lot more. Just looking at him. What is this? Ooh. I hope that's not a dig. January 6th was a beautiful day. Did anybody watch that shit with Tucker Carlson? Aww. Poor Toe Jam Green. Yeah, your candidate wasn't at the debate. There's nothing for you to advocate. Mugshots Batman edition. Ah, they made Giuliani look like the Penguin. Poison Ivy. You know, this is an insult to Batman villains and their fans. Ha! Society if it was run by the girls and the gays. This is Singapore's Changi Airport. It's illegal to be LGBTQ in Singapore. And this is quite beautiful. Society if it was run by the girls and the gays. You wish women ran this society. Watch, for those who said I was crazy when I warned Republicans are coming after contraception next, it's already here. This guy says it leads to infidelity and more insanity. Watch in full. They're trying to take this all the way to the White House. Be ready. Wow. In a 9-1 ruling, Brazil's Supreme Court has ruled homophobic hate speech is now punishable by prison. This ruling puts homophobic hate speech at the same level as other hate speech, which was already punishable by prison in the country. Holy shit. Every time I read about another country, I get incredibly jealous. Trump just replaced the lawyer who's been leading his defense in Georgia hours before his planned surrender. Drew Findling is out. Steven Sato will handle Trump's arrest and processing today in Atlanta. Is Trump going to be allowed to wear the dead ferret in his mugshot or no? I think Joy Behar had it best. Ew. I think Joy Behar said it best. She said he grows the top long. So he has the hair long, he brushes it forward, glues it to his hairline, and then the length that's left he brushes back. So he doesn't have to wear a rug. By the way, he's supposed to be a billionaire, but he couldn't get a hair transplant. J6 rally organizer created her own mugshot because she felt left out. Well, if she's the rally organizer, then she was part of the whole J6 insurrection. So shouldn't she be arrested anyway? Nation's liberals anxiously waiting with unzipped pants to jerk off to Trump's mugshot. Tick, tick, motherfucker. All right. Well, that's it for me. I got out all that abortion shit I wanted to get out regarding the lies from last night. Oh my God. If this doesn't show you you cannot vote for Republicans, I don't know what does. Anyway, see ya.